Good morning, everyone. Only one person.
Good morning.
Please wait for a few minutes. I'm unable to share my screen. I'll check and start.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you know the background of your education, Harish? You're looking.
Hello. Myself Harish. My educational background is I pursued BSc Nautical Sciences at Mumbai University, and I worked as a third officer in merchant navy shipping industry. Later on, I quitted the field and joined in Amazon in 2020.
Okay. So you want to shift into a different field? Analytics field.
I'm in I'm in Amazon customer support right now.
Okay.
Uh, so I want to shift to some, IT side. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Actually, is this an offline session or online sessions only?
Actually, it's offline and online. If you want to come on offline, you can come. So today is everyone is coming to online. So I joined through online.
Okay, how many members are there in this batch?
Yeah, I'm not sure. To check with receptionist. Today is the first session.
Yeah, first session.
So in this session, I mostly covering the all the necessary and important SQL concepts, and it will be mostly on practical side. Like 30% will be on practical and 70% will be theory. So I will be teaching on mostly on data analytics fields, and like how we can use the SQL in the data analytics field, and we can use SQL in a lot of places where in this for current situations, like everyone is moving into some automation or digital side. So suppose even if we consider any uh, retail stores, everyone using some digital system systems to uh, track their store data, like inventory data, everything. So if we consider Apollo or any supermarket, so everything will be tracked through the digital. So everything will be in the database. So it will be, they will have one interface where they can have access to the store information, like how many quantities are there, like how much quantity is there for each medicine. If we consider Apollo, if you go to Apollo, then they will just search the item name, like medicine name, and they can figure out the whether the quantity is there is available or not, or if it is available, then they can easily know how much quantity is available at their store. So like in most of the application SQL, the database comes into picture. So to access the database, we need the SQL. So SQL means like it's a structured query language where we can interact with the database to retrieve the required information. So the database is nothing but a collection of data. Like we will store the information in the form of files or tables, anything. Even if we consider any hard disk, it is nothing but one database. Like we will collect some data and we'll store it in the files. So here we have two things. One is DBMS and another one is relational database, RDBMS. DBMS is nothing but database management system. So it is a process of managing a database. Like it is nothing but a software which can be used to access the database, and it will provide the access to the users to edit or create the tables or manage the files in the database. So here in the traditional database, the data will be stored in the form of files. And when we come to the relational database management system, it is the same collection of data, but here the data will be in the form of tables purely. So here we need SQL to extract the information or interact with the database. So we have different types of models in the SQL. So based on the model, they will divide the data and store the information in the different tables. So here in future we can future classes we will decide, like there will be some normalization process. Like for each table, uh, it should have some properties, like there should not be any duplicate records, and there should not be any redundant columns, like duplicate columns. So uh, we will divide the data into list size and store it in the different tables. Whenever we need, we will combine those tables and get the information, required information. Um, so this is the major difference between the DBMS and RDBMS. So here we will store the data in the forms of files. Where when it comes to the RDBMS, it will store in the tables. Suppose if we consider uh, if we consider any college, university, they will have database where they can store the information of their students, faculties, and their admissions and fee structures and salaries of the faculty. So the data will be divided in the different tables. So here the salaries will data will be stored in one table. Then they can make it as salaries, and students information will be in the one table, and the students marks scores information will be stored in different table. Like that, data will be divided into different tables and stored in the database. So coming to the applications, here SQL is most important. Like in every day-to-day life, we will come to these scenarios. scenarios. For example, banking. So the transaction data will be stored in the database. So even if you do any purchase or any transfer, it will have one entry in the database there, where we can have these transaction number, reference IDs, and everything. So coming to the airlines, to book the flights or cancel flights or to know the schedules, like flight schedules, they will store the information in the database, and we will uh, see the information in the website. Like in the backend, it will connect to a database, and it will retrieve the information based on our query. And next, universities, like I said earlier, students information, marks, course information, faculties information, everything will be stored in the database. And sales, same as detail store, where we can store the information like products information, purchase history of the customers, customer information, and inventory information, like how many products are available. So in production, like in manufacturing industry also, we will use the database systems. Like uh, there will be some applications like SAP or Oracle ERP systems, where they can use the database systems to manage their day-to-day operations, like inventory and order informations. Like uh, they will receive the orders from the customers, so everything will be in the database. Like they will have some interfaces where they can enter the data, and they can see the information. And human resource, like HR people, they will maintain the employee records of the company and salaries, tax information, everything. And when we come to the IT, also there will be a lot of places, like if we consider networking side and DevOps portal side, or data analytics or data scientist, and web development, everywhere we will use the SQL database. So uh, it has wide applications. Like most of the places, SQL will be used. In mostly if you come to the user interface like UI or UX design, there won't be any use of SQL. But when you work in any domain of the IT industry, so you must need SQL in any one of the times. Suppose uh, even if you are working as a functional consultant, you can you will be used to you will be need an access of SQL. Like sometimes we want to see the data for our customers, then there will be you have to use the SQL to get the required information. So it has a lot of applications. And so here DBMS is nothing but a software which can be used to access the database and retrieve the information. So there are different companies who can offer the these services. Like Microsoft SQL Server is one of the RDBMS servers. Like they can provide the database and their server and the one interface to access the database. Here we can use the SQL language. And Oracle database is one of the most useful thing. Like most of the enterprises will use Oracle, and Oracle MySQL and IBM DB2, SAP CBase, Terabyte, PostgreSQL. So these are the services. These are the companies who can provide the these RDBMS services. So in all of these databases, the common thing is SQL. Like it's nothing but a language which can be used to access the database. So most of these databases have common things. Only depends on their company. They will have some extra edge. Like depends on from some extra functions or extra features will be there in the database. But the core concept is SQL. So if you learn SQL, then you can access to all these databases. and there will be some extra functions in particular to some database. They, if we see those and if we see the descriptions of those comments, you can easily understand if you know the basics. So so in this section, we are going to cover Microsoft SQL Server. We are not touching these other databases. So we are learning SQL using this Microsoft SQL Server. Yeah. So here we have two parts. When we want to interact with the Microsoft SQL Server database, we have one SQL Server, and the next another one is SQL Server Management Studio. So this SQL Server is a database where the data can be stored, and it can be modified, it can be inserted, and everything can be done in the SQL Server. Like it is nothing but a room, like where we can store all the data. So this SQL Server Management Studio is nothing but one interface which can be used to access the SQL Server. We cannot directly interact with the SQL Server. So we will use the SQL Server Management Studio to access the SQL Server databases. So where we can use our SQL to query the retrieve information from the database. So we will run all the queries in the SQL Server Management Studio, and it will connect to the SQL Server, and it will interact with the SQL Server and get the required information, and it will show in the required format. Yeah, so compared to other databases, the advantages of SQL is it is very easy to install, and the performance is also more compared to other databases like RKL and MySQL. The Microsoft SQL is better performance compared to other one, and here it will have different editions. We have Enterprise Edition, Standard Edition, Express, and Developer Edition. Enterprise is nothing but it has mostly used by the companies where large cap companies where they can do the transactions in a bulk. Like there will be a lot of employees and everyone is accessing their database at a time, and it will have more security features. And standard is nothing but mostly the small companies, like where they have 100 to 200 employees, they will use the standard edition. And express edition is nothing but it is also same as enterprise, but it will have some less features. And this developer edition is mostly for people who want to learn and who want to build the it is mostly used for developer work. Like suppose if you want to develop a data model, like if you want to create, suppose for example, data model is nothing but you want to store the information related to one store or one university. Suppose here we consider the university example. So here, what all information you have to store? Like you have to store students' information, faculty information, students' course information, and admissions information, and their subjects information, and library information. So here we are in need of to store the lot of data. So in this case, first we will create one data model. Like we will design one concept, like so which information should be stored in which table. So first we will plan accordingly and divide the information into different table, and we will have create relationships between the two or three tables. Like first we are dividing the data. So if you want to get the data from two or three tables, like for example, you are storing the student information in one table and the department information in another table. So here, if you want to get the student information, full information, like the department and the scores he scored in the different semesters and different years. In this case, the scores will be in the different table and the student information in the different tables. So in this case, we will use some relationship, like we call it as primary key and foreign key relationship. There you can, so while designing the database itself, you will use these foreign keys to reference to the other tables. So the all these types of work will be done in the developer edition. So here we can create procedures, functions, and lot more. And compared to security, it is very secured one, and uh, the restoration and recovery is also very good in the Microsoft SQL Server. If you want to take the backup, you just need to export a file and you can keep it in your local. And whenever you want or wherever you want, you can directly import the your information in the particular database. And the cost is also less compared to other databases. So any doubts you have as of now?
No, sir.
So now I will share this link with you. Like it has installations. It is having installation steps to install the SQL Server and SQL Management Studio. So I've shared the link in the chart. So you can download that PDF and you can go through the installation steps, like how you can install the SQL Server Management Studio. I will just show you how it will be. Uh, yeah. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
So this is for Windows version. Uh, if you are using Mac, and it will be different. So if any one of you using Mac, then I will share the different video link where you can refer to the installation steps. So here, uh, uh, first we have to go to Google and we have to search for this SQL Server download. Then this page will appear here. And once you click on this, here you have to click on this Microsoft.com. You should not click other one. So you will go to official website of this Microsoft. There, if you scroll a little bit down, you will find these different versions of SQL Server. So here you have to click the developer edition. Since then once the file is downloaded, then you have to open it. Like you can double click on it, or you can right click on it, or open with click on open with administrator. So once you open it, you will find these options like developer edition and select the installation type. Here you have to select the basic one. Here we don't need custom or download menu. Basic one is enough for us to learn and to practice. Then you have to accept these terms and conditions. Then here it will ask the path location, installation path. So here you have to select, by default, it will give one path. So you don't need to change anything. You can select the same one and you can click on the install. So till now the SQL Server installation is done. Now we have to install the SQL Server Management Studio. It is nothing but an interface which can be used to access SQL Server database. So here, once the installation is done, SQL Server installation is done, then you will get this pop-up. So here, click on this install SSMS. Once you come to this page, click on this install SSMS page. Then once you click on, you will go to another web page. There you can see the download SSM option. Here you have to click on, then you will get one file will be downloaded. And once the file is downloaded, then you have to open it. Same again, it will ask for this. You will get this pop-up, and you have to click on the install. And once the installation is done, then it will appear in our apps. Then you just need to search in the this SQL Server Management Studio in the apps. Then you have to open it. So here you will see the different options. So server type will be the database engine, and here the server name will be, it will appear as your name. The path will be same, and the name will be different compared to your username in this system. And here you can select the default authentication is Windows authentication is better, and we don't need to enter again one password. And that's it. Once you're done, the installation will be done. I will show you the how it will be the interface. So did any one of you install this Microsoft SQL Server already?
Sir, I tried with the link which you shared for the Mac,
Hmm.
and I had an issue with that. So I was waiting to ask at the end of the class.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. So once you install and connect, so you will see this page actually. So here, this is the databases. So by default, nothing will come. So once you install, you have to click on it, and you have to open this new query section. This will open one SQL page where we can write the queries to interact with the database. So actually, I created these two databases already, and this is one import one. Like I have imported from the Microsoft website itself. Like we will have few sample data sets which can be used to practice our SQL. So it will have data in these tables, and you can practice using this database. So I will give the some questions based on this database itself. So based on the once I complete one concept, then I will give the some assignment questions where you can practice in the using this database in this backup file. So I will show you this one as well, how to download this database. And search for this SQL. So here you will find this adventure box sample database. Here you have to scroll a little bit down. Yeah, here you should select the 2017 one. Actually, 2022 backup database is not working properly. So you have to click on 2071 and you have to download the backup file. So in next steps, I will show you how to import the database as well. So in this way, we can download the sample database. You are seeing my this database studio, or you are seeing Notepad Plus. So once you install the database, and first thing you have to do is you have to open this one and click create a database. This option is to run the execute the query which we written here. So this is for opening a new SQL session, and this is for executing the query. So this is a command to query to create the database. So the command completed successfully. So if you refresh here, yeah, so it came. So if you expand it, uh, nothing is there here in these tables. So once you create the database, you have to use this command, use database. So this command is to run this, like if you run any session in this page, it will run in the selected database. So we just need to use this command. Yes. So what I will do, I will create a table just for you. Click on this one. What is done? If you expand this table section, yeah, here you are seeing this DB order students. Yeah, it's written. So download the database and uh, once it is done, you can practice and you can create the database and you can do practice. And the next sessions will be covering these operations like SQL operations, SQL commands and SQL queries. So you can practice it on SQL server. So now coming to the SQL, here we have 5 types of commands in the SQL. First one is DDL and data, that is data definition language. Second one is DQL, data query language, and DML, DCL, PCL. So we will go one by one. Uh, so coming to the DDL, so it is mostly dealing with the modifying the database schema. Uh, suppose now what we did, we created a database and we created a table. So creating a table is nothing but it is comes under the data definition language. Like we are defining the data. So we are defining how the data should be stored and how the table structure will be. So this comes under the DDL commands. So here we have three commands. DDL, create, drop, and alter. So create is used for creating the table or database, and we can use for other objects also like procedures, functions. So I will cover these topics in next sessions, like what is meant by procedure, what is meant by function, and these will be covered in the next session. So if you want to create something, then it comes under the DDL commands. Then drop is nothing but it is used to delete the objects, like deleting the tables or deleting the procedures or deleting the databases, everything. So for this one we will use drop command. And alter is nothing but it will use it to modify the structure of the existing objects. Like suppose we have a table students. So in this students table, if you want to add one more column, then it comes under the alter statement. So you will use the alter statement to add the object, add the column, or drop the column. Drop means you if you want to delete one extra column in the table, then you will use this alter table command. So I will show you this practically. So now we have created a table and we'll create one more table. Okay, we will use alter command now. So if you want to add one more column, student department ID is there, and yeah, gender. If you want to add gender, then you will use alter table command. Alter. Add. So we are adding a column. So we'll use add command. Here, this one, the second one is called as data type. So we will come to this data types also. Like data types is nothing but whether it is a number or text, we will define the in the data types. Based on data types, it will accept those kind of data only. Suppose here you are giving for a student ID, you are giving it as int. So int is nothing but integer. It will show only number data types. If you want to give any, if you are giving any character related entry, then it will throw an error. So it won't accept the text data. Now gender, uh, text data. Yeah, so now you are seeing this extra column: student ID, name, department ID, gender. So this one will be used for altering the tables. Yeah, so here we have three tables. So now we want to drop this students to table. So in this case, we will use this drop command, drop table students to. So now if you query this one, it will throw an error. So invalid object name. So because we dropped the table, we deleted the table. So it is not existing in the database. So these three comes under the DDL commands, like creating, altering is nothing but changing the object and dropping, deleting the objects. These three comes under the DDL commands. Next one is DML. DQL. So DQL is nothing but it is the commands comes under this one is the queries which we use for the retrieving information, like nothing but select statement. Like it will select means nothing but we are selecting the data from the table. Like we are querying the database to get the required information. So select will comes under the data query language. Like we select, we did the select star from table students. So that comes under the this DQL language. Is DML commands. So this is data manipulation language. Like we can insert the data, like in the table we can do three operations mostly. One is insert, update, delete. So insert is nothing but we are adding in new records into the tables, and update is nothing but for existing data we will change some information. Suppose we have student information, student A is there. So for his gender, we by mistakenly we put it as female, but later we found that like we enter wrong data. So in this case, we need to update the data, like we need to update the gender information of the student. So in this case, we will use the update command, and delete is nothing but earlier we used drop command. Drop is for the database objects, like table, deleting the table. Here the delete will be used for the delete the data in the table, not the table. Suppose we have a student table, we have 10 students information. So if you want to delete one student record, the student ID with 100. So in this case, we will use delete command to delete the data of student ID 100. So this one I will show the comments. This one we will discuss it tomorrow, like thus syntaxes and examples. Next one is data control language. So here data control language is nothing but here we can use some security features, like we have different options. Like in the database itself, we can create schemas. I will go through what is schema in the next session. Like based on schema, we can give the access to the users. Here we have commands come. Here we have few commands that those are grant and revoke. So grant is used to give the permission. to do any operation like select, update, or insert any table. And revoke is nothing but to like revert the operations. Like we have given the grant permission, then we want to revert that option. Like we don't want to give permission to some other user to access the data. So in this case, we will use the revoke command to remove the privileges to that user. And next one is transaction control language. So here we have two commands mostly we will use commit and rollback. So suppose we deleted a student ID 100 data. So it will be temporarily deleted. So if you want to save the changes, then you have to do commit operations. Like nothing but when we are doing some editing in the Word file or any text notepad file, we must need to save the changes, right? Once we do our changes, we need to save it. So this commit is also same option. Like once we do any delete operations or any changes, we need to commit it. Once we commit it, then only it will delete from the table. So rollback is nothing but suppose it is nothing but undo option. Suppose we deleted some record in the table, but we want to like undo those operations. In this case, we will use rollback to do the undo operation. Yeah, that's it for today. So you can go through the installation steps and install the Microsoft SQL Server, and you can do some practice.
Okay.
Sir,
Mhm.
I told you, right, I have a doubt with
Yeah, we'll discuss now. So anyone has any doubts? Okay, you can drop off if you don't have any doubts. Yeah, Arun Joshua, can you tell me what was the issue?
sir, so he gave me steps regarding everything. So I installed Docker and everything. So he told me to go to Docker Hub and search about Azure SQL Edge. I searched it, and he gave a link to post it on my Mac's terminal. I did everything after that. So there's an image on the Docker application. Uh, I
Okay.
he said to copy a link which he posted in that video to paste it on my terminal. But after I did that, the command didn't get executed after that. So it's
Okay.
showing error after that.
Getting any error while
Yeah,
executing the command?
not error, but it's just blank after that. It's not executing the command.
Okay.
He told me that after I execute that command, when I open the Docker application, the image uh, it'll show that it's been using that image, but it's the same thing. The image is showing up as unused. So that
Unused. Okay. Can you share your screen?
okay.
Like at least you install this server or you're still.
I'm still in that step, sir. So I installed Docker Hub. If you can see,
Okay.
uh,
1 second.
okay, it's already running. So he told me that this will the status will be showed as using.
Okay.
Uh,
Why it is showing it's created 2 years ago?
this was from the video, sir. He's using this one. So I think he uploaded this image, so that's why it's showing, as created 2 years ago.
Okay. I think some.
So he told me to type this one, and there's going to be a link here, but now I'm not able to find that link. Okay, this is Azure. Uh,
Yeah, we'll connect it later, Arun. Like, so I will. So what error you are getting? That unused one, right?
yeah, unused ones.
Okay.
So, anyways, tomorrow I think I'll be there offline for the class.
Okay.
So I'll bring my laptop too. So
Okay.
you can help me there. That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should I leave, sir? Okay, I'll pay now.